Click the links to join the Gab, Discord, BitChute, whatever, or support the channel. If you want to get a hold of me, you can drop me an email. So, democracy dies in darkness. Really, Ninja? The alt-left media wants to censor the moderate-left media, Fox News. And if you think Fox is right of center, then I don't know what you're going to do if the Hugo Boss boys come marching down your block. Inshallah. This time the Hugo Boss crew is going to be multiracial. Dear Bolshevik media, it's not multiracial white supremacy, you effing idiots. You got a mixed race group who opposes you and your bloodthirsty communist ideals. Most people would probably say the Japanese or the South Koreans are the most advanced people on earth, who, at least in terms of making the most accomplishment in the shortest amount of time. Like if you look at South Korea, how far it's come from just the 90s. It is. Are they the master race? Yeah, I guess based on that like short period of time. Yeah, I guess it would be fair to say. It's not white supremacy, you idiots. You just, well, more on that later. So the media is controlled by bullshies who want black and white so busy fighting each other that they don't notice that the puppet masters have enslaved both with predatory banking, feminism, birth control, abortion clinics, and welfare. And it sounds tinfoil hat because they told you it sounds tinfoil hat. They told you the things that you're actually seeing are not the things that you're actually seeing. Everything they do is malicious, either passive via sports ball, bread, and circuses, or active by fomenting discord with biased reporting and hate crime hoaxes and an anti-white narrative. Black people think because the media narrative is on their side right now, that the media is on their side. The media will unplug your life support when they need to advance another cause. But the media supports BLM. Look at all the corporate donations. Then that is strong evidence that BLM is not helping you. Oh, and by the way, where did that Soros and Bank of America money go? The Bolsheviks support welfare, birth control, feminism, abortions, etc., because those things destroy the family. Dear black people, Soros and Bank of America wouldn't give you a dime if they thought it would help your ascendance. Voluntary single moms are monsters. If you support women who birth bastards, you're going to get more bastards who just repeat the cycle. It's just math. I'm sorry if it hurts, but 2 + 2 = 4. Without welfare, you rely on your family and extended family, then your church and community. The puppet masters can't have strong families because that leads to a strong nation. A strong nation wouldn't allow the banks and media to be run by globalists. A nation would deport these people, toot sweet. But America isn't a nation. It's a commercial zone controlled by Israel for the benefit of China. Fox News doesn't know what it is right now. When the patriarch stepped down, the liberal kids decided to turn Fox into CNN. But in mainstream media, Fox was the only moderate platform. So now it's CNN Light, and for most normies, the mainstream media is 100% left of center. They've got to get their news online from one news network or alt media sources. So this article is Margaret Sullivan of the Washington Post, who wants to shut down Fox because even CNN Light is too far right for her. So she, protected by the First Amendment, wants to put a fellow media company out of business. If that sounds insane to you, then welcome to Clown World, you sweet summer child. Okay, so this lady doesn't quite, she just hates Fox, and Fox obviously has taken a hard turn to the left, and then they saw their numbers drop, and they realized, well, you know, if we're just MSNBC, the kind of the slightly to the right of them, then there's already enough competition out there. So this Margaret Sullivan just wants Fox gone. Fair enough, nobody cares. Nobody cares. People are done with Fox. There's One News Network and a bunch of other sources that are slightly more moderate and unbiased. Oh God, there's another story about this. The woman who writes for the New York Times. She's the New York Times editor. She's describes herself as a queer Jewish editor. who was fired because she said she got the shivers when she saw Joe Biden's plane land or something. Like, well, in case you're unfamiliar with it, reporters, editors, people in the media are supposed to be fair, impartial, and unbiased. And that's such a joke. I wouldn't even fire her these days because why even pretend to be unbiased? 100% of the people, almost 100% of the people who work behind the cameras, in front of the cameras, at any media source, mainstream media source, is left of center. You don't get fair, impartial news when almost everyone who works there is left of center, even less so when the people who call the shots are far left of center. No, you're not firing that girl. What was the point of that? That was just posturing, virtue signaling. You'll just replace her. Didn't you guys hire that Asian woman who's racist? Yeah, I think that was the New York Times. Anyway, so Fox called Arizona for Trump, indicative of their far left shift. She just wants Fox gone. Okay, so Fox realized that they're going to quickly be out of business. So the patriarch comes back and says, listen, you kids I know you guys are left wing, but you're going to put the company literally out of business. So the network has decided add an hour of opinion programming to its primetime offerings. It'll be outrage production, so says an outraged left of center globalist. Why? Because that's where the ratings are. Fine, give people the news. And in a movie, should be shocking if it isn't. One of those who will rotate through the trials for that coveted spot will be Maria Bartiromo, whose Trump sycophancy during the campaign may well have been unparalleled. She was among those, including Judge, who recently forced under threat a lawsuit to air a video debunked repeated false claims on a show that corrupt voting software had given millions of Trump votes to Biden. If I get into this, I can't talk about this on YouTube. Let me just say, the truth doesn't fear investigation. You don't kick people who are watching the vote out and say you're shutting down for the night. Kick the observers out. Make sure they're gone. Lock them out. And then go back and recount the vote. You don't, when people are filming the vote counters, as is their right to do in a open election, you don't put up cardboard on the window to block them from filming you. You don't do that. If your vote doesn't count, then you're a slave. What do you mean? We're not yes, that's slavery. If there's no point in, what do they say? The ballot box if the ballot box doesn't count, then it leads to the ammunition box. And the Liberty Tree and tyrants and patriots and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of weird because it's it's kind of weird because the founding fathers had this in mind. Anyway, Sean Hannity likes to blast Biden as cognitively struggling. I don't, every time you mention these things, like even sentences like corrupt voting software gave millions of votes to Biden, people hear that. And then describing Biden as cognitively struggling, people also hear that, they think about it and they go, yeah, Biden's not all there. I mean, I don't think he's not as bad as he's got a lot of misspeaks, lead people to believe. I think he's still cognitively mostly there. That guy's 80 years old. He's when he runs for re-election, he's 78. When he runs for re-election, he'll be 82. When he's older than Clinton, Bush, and Obama, who watched him get sworn in. Yeah, that's too old to be president. He's got some issues. Nobody's sweating it because he's not in charge. The puppet masters are in charge. So they're trying to get the right-wing audience back, but it's like Murdoch is 91 years old. He can't run the thing forever, and unless he appoints someone who wants to run a right-of-center business, or at least a moderate business, as soon as he passes, his kids are going to take over. It's going to be CNN. It's like, you're going to put the company out of business. There's already CNN. There's already MSNBC, ABC, Slate, Vox, Salon, Mike, Now This, BuzzFeed. There's 100 media companies, and they're all left of center. I can name One News, ONN, One News Network, and Newsmax are moderate. I think that's it. Maybe Breitbart, but like how many normies aren't watching those? Normies are watching their TV, and on the TV it's just CNN and MSNBC. Anyway, so Murdoch is trying to keep his company from going out of business, but, that's not going to happen. So it's his kid who run Fox. How to get the Fox News monster under control. This is a media personality protected under the First Amendment free speech press who wants to put another company out of business. And then she says, I don't believe the government should have any role in regulating what can and can't be said on the air. No shit. Welcome to the First Amendment, you idiot. The answer is to speak the language of the bigwigs, ratings, advertising dollars, profit. Now she's messing with their money. Someone protected under the First Amendment. I would assume a reporter would be like, hey, yeah, God bless you. You got the First Amendment. We have the First Amendment too. Welcome to the open marketplace of ideas. You're going to put forth a narrative. We think it's wrong. So we're going to put forth a counter narrative. Have at it. Let the best argument win. Isn't that what a media should be? Who's a sweet summer child now? She says that corporations that advertise on Fox should walk away. And citizens who care about the truth should demand that they do, in addition to trying to steer their friends and relatives away from the network. Oh my God. Look in the mirror. You've become the monster. And then this is why when you think, oh, the rhino's in office, 100 senators and 500 congressmen. Lawmakers lost the support of many of the largest corporate backers, GE, AT&T, Comcast, Honeywell. Those are the people who run the country, not the lawmakers. America is a commercial zone. It had a chance. One time in history, America had a chance of being something. But taking the country back, this woman at BuzzFeed, Chelsea Steiner, wrote an article today where she said people were carrying assault rifles. They flew to Washington carrying their assault rifles. Like, really? How come the media didn't show that? I archived that in case she changes it later. Turns out, out of the thousands of people who went to Washington, there was an assault rifle found. One AR was found in a truck. One. Everyone else was a mostly peaceful assembly. They didn't have any firearms, as is their Second Amendment constitutional right to do so. But the law, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Not anymore. Not in California, not in Washington, D.C., not on some places in the East Coast. Like, does the Second Amendment, is it there? Does it matter anymore? Does the First Amendment matter if NGOs really run the country? If there is no alternative platform to Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, Instagram, and there isn't, and those are all controlled by globalists, then isn't the First Amendment meaningless if you don't have free speech on the only platform that matters? And they have federal contacts? Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, guys. I will see you on BitChute. Thank you for the recent sub boost. I watched the YouTube sub count has been at like 1040 for 3 months, and the BitChute crossed YouTube, and it just keeps going up and up. So I'm excited for alt tech. Anyway, I'll see you guys next episode.